Hello, beautiful souls. I hope you're doing well. Today we have another transmission from my galactic soul group, the Mella Collective. Transmissions that are simply inspired in my own words through our heart connection. So it's nothing else than that. Today we were invited to explore the concept of the expression of our emotions in high consciousness, and what we mean by that is that sometimes we do keep inside, bottle up inside of us, some emotions that might end up hurting us, either on a physical level, intellectual, psychological, mental, whatever level. And what happens then is that it can create some dis-ease and disharmony in our bodies and in our minds. And we're invited more and more now to really express what we truly feel and be sovereign and authentic with our feelings to ourselves first, but also to others if things need to be shared to others to perhaps generate some consciousness on their part if they have done something that might, unconsciously, they might have done something that might have hurt you. So it's really important to share things. However, everything lies in the manner in which we do so. We are raising in frequency on our beautiful planet Terra. We are raising in, 5D consciousness. And we are invited to be more and more sovereign and not just like either people pleasing and not saying anything to make sure everybody loves us and validates us. It's not about that. It's really about being true to ourselves, to our feelings, to what we need to express, and to others as well. This way, there is no hypocrisy. We can just be authentic with our feelings. However, there's different ways in doing this. We can be in reaction, which tends to be sometimes coming from the ego rather than from the heart. And reactions tend to hurt us and others because we express things in a way that can actually hurt. However, there's different ways in which we can go within, be in consciousness, and really put words into our on our feelings, really understand what's in there, and then from then we are able to express to others in the most respectful, conscious way what we truly feel. And it doesn't have to be aggressive, it doesn't have to be hurtful. It can be just true, authentic, and real, and said in even in love. You can share your feeling of discontent or sadness or anger, but also through a feeling of love. And it might be paradoxical, but it's not. If you are in a stance of love and high frequency, you can express those more difficult emotions while staying aligned with your highest frequency and with love. So, this is something we're invited to do. And personally, I have experienced this for years. I have been a people pleaser in my life, and that has not served me at all because since I wanted for people to, I didn't want to hurt. I didn't want to hurt people, and it's like somehow I kind of depended on their validation at the time. It's not so much the case anymore since I've worked a lot on that, but expressing my true emotions was very difficult for me because there was always this fear that people would feel rejected or hurt or that they would not love me anymore. And I was fearing that, and I would often feel guilt after sharing my feelings. But the reason for that is also because I was sometimes expressing them in the perhaps not in the best aligned way, perhaps in the form of a reaction or with violence or with anger. And, there's ways of sharing our anger and our sadness without hurting the other. So this is something I'm learning to do, like everyone, I'm no better. I'm just learning to do that more and more as we rise in frequency now, to be able to express my emotions in a way that's, first of all, express them so they don't bottle up, but also express them in a way that's aligned with with high frequencies. And something that's also super important is to remember that, we are we have to respect our nature as well. Like for me, for example, I have another future life. on the planet Era, where I am an Ahel and a Taal hybrid. And for those who know about these things, Ahil, and Taali have very different ways in processing their emotions. Taali are much more like Vulcans, they will keep their emotions bottled up within and they control them and they don't want to be overtaken by them. While the Ahel or the Ahil will tend to express quite intensely what they feel, and it will be often like a really quick expression, they might be angry, for example, for like 3 or 4 minutes, and then they're going to be really angry. But then after that, they will express it, hopefully in a high frequency. And because they are of high 5D, and then they let go, they let their body not be trapped into this emotion and they let go of it. So it's very healthy. So, depending on our nature, we're going to have certain tendency to express or to bottle up. So we are invited to express, to let go, to transmute. And often expression does that. It does naturally kind of transmute the emotion because it's put out of the body and is not trapped in the cells. So, this is the essence of the message of today. It's quite simple. As always, the Mella Collective transmissions are not bringing necessarily very new things, but they're more reminders of things that sometimes we forget, or they might be the message might arrive at the right moment for someone who's going through a crisis, and then suddenly they're being kind of just gently reminded of like, this is, there's another way to deal with things, or that this can be a reminder of an opportunity to act in a different way or respect oneself or others. So this is the message of today. I hope it was helpful to you, and I wish you a lovely day. Take great care of yourselves. Bye.